Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to Ashes Magazine. This is part of the Ludus Magnus Studios magazine for all the different companies, including Black Rose Wars, Nova Aetas, DAI, Ragnar, Blood, Blasphemous, amongst all their other Nova Aetas Chronicle games, Dungeonology. There's a ton of them. So they release these magazines periodically. Have a bunch of fun little interviews, upcoming things coming out. Plus, I also have some promo content. So we're gonna go over. You're going to kind of go a brief glimpse through the magazine to see what's in there. But the big thing is in the video, we want to look at the promo cards. I own some of the games, so I'll be able to go over a little bit more in depth with them, like Black Rose Wars, Nova Aetas. Other games I don't, so we'll just kind of look at them or read them, see what all the promo cards are, so that way you know what's in each magazine if you want to get them. If you're interested in them, you have to check out LMS, Ludus Magnus Studio. Website. They sell them through their shop, but once they run out, they run out. I don't think they plan on reprinting them, even with the miniatures. If you just want to read the magazines, I believe they are, after a certain time of period, they do become available as PDF files on their website or their web app. So that's one of the reasons why we're not going to run through everything too, just because there's too much. I'd spend an hour looking through all this. Some people just, this isn't a web app reader. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into the Ashes magazines. Alright, we're going to look at Ashes issue number 9. So here, Tales from the New Era. Game Kitchen, Summons of the Designer, Trial of the God, Travel, Explore, Make Your God Proud. Blood, so we got to learn about the new Blood game, which is that guy part of that game right there. Nova Aetas Stories, a brand new RPG-ish type game, and Luxic Umbra. Preview our first part of Nova Aetas Resistance Comics. So yeah, pretty cool. So we're gonna get all that. So let's go ahead and let's see what's in the book here. We're gonna have our promos that we'll get a look at in a minute, which will have stuff for Nova Aetas Renaissance and Black Rose Wars Rebirth. So a little bit of talk about Blasphemous, their newest game coming out as of the time of this video. Based off the little video game. So there's some pages on that. Information on Trials of the God, another new game they're working on. Competitive 2 to 4 player game. Interview with one of the people that worked on it. Some interview about Blood, if you want to learn a little bit more about Blood, which is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game in a boss battler genre. There's another image from that. Kind of explains sort of how the game works a little bit. Talking about the Nova Aetas stories, more brand new stuff, interview stuff. So again, if you want to check out those cool things, there's some more stuff from Blood and ad. Game Quest, kind of like how they talk about designing a game a little bit, which is really neat. Then we're actually have some stuff for how to play with the new content, so we'll look at that in a moment. There's Trials of the God, if you want to see a preview of that game. And then we're also going to talk about a little bit of section of the brand new comic book. So we'll have some pages from that. And there's some stuff with Requiem. So that's what's in there. The other thing we're going to get besides the promo figures is we're going to get a promo miniature and that stuff is the Nova Aetas. There is the Nova Aetas role-playing game, a quick start guide. So this is taking place during the Nova Aetas story. So it provides a handbook for the 5th edition of renowned role-playing game, which speaks richly of Italian tradition, folklore, history, landscape, and fictional culture. It's all the interesting stuff you need to know there. And we're not going to get into too much, but it says, what's a role-playing game? Classic game rules, classes, and odd clearing, which is a sample chapter. So it says, gives an engaging preview of a Nova Aetas stories in the full game using the D&D 5th edition SRD. Inside you'll find information about the atmosphere, new rules about Renaissance fantasy settings, as well as a complete demonstration of adventure to the experience and expansion and extended sessions you bring for your games. So it's just a little quick start guide, which is pretty cool. Just kind of explaining what a role-playing game is. Going through explaining some more specific rules of modifiers, some different Terrace, it's long jump, swinging, climbing, cool stuff there, resting. Using the hologram right from the game to actually keep track of timing and stuff, which is kind of a neat extra feature. Perdium understands the threat counter, so using actual aspects of the board game in there. Showing off like a trap, like a ranger, a fur trapper version 3 or level 3. So after some of the stuff they have in there. Quick combat skills, blocking trap, sporific trap. Who are they? What they do? Some classes. We have some favorite enemies. We have the fawns, environments of wood. We have fighting style of trap. This is more stuff about the trapper. How their blocking trap and sporific trap work. Other different stuff they can use. Then we also have some. I'm not going to show off every single page of this, but we can look at. We have the class for Arquebruiser, version 3. The fighter. We have an alchemist, a Churigan. And then we have a magister, it's a technomancer, specifically at mage, which is really cool because that's like one of the characters from Black Rose Wars. So that's kind of neat because we got that. Then it has the adventure, the odd clearing. So it kind of walks you through some of the different stuff, introductions, parts of that. Has a map on there if you want to kind of see what some of the areas look like. A dungeon you can go through. Confronting of the possessed. That is really cool artwork. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. So we get that cool little extra supplement copy if you want to kind of get an idea of what that game is. Alright, then let's look at the promo cards for the games. We are going to look at, we have a box for Blood. It's kind of cool, showing off some of the new games before they come out. So if we flip this open, we'll have all our little stuff in here. You can see Blood is a cooperative game from 1 to 4 players. Lead a group of vampire hunters through the dark secrets of Dracula's castle. Engage in a series of thrilling boss fights against powerful vampires, clearing various areas of the castle to pave your way into its steps. You won't be alone in this challenge. You can always call on the residents of the nearby village of Brang for help. You can find solace in between battles, upgrade your equipment, hone your skills until the final confrontation with the Prince of Night himself. I'm excited for this game. Yes, we're going to have some tokens, we're going to have some big cards, a pack of small cards, as well as a brand new miniature. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is Razvan. He is one of the vampires that you fight in Blood. We get this extra cool little miniature of him here. With that red blood, like, cape or skirt, I guess, rather. These are the vampires, but yeah, we get a fight in Blood. So we can zoom up and get a little bit better detailed look at him. So he's got like some metal hooks hanging down. He's got his big sword. Of course, big old vampire wings. Yeah, so there's a better picture of him right there. If my camera would focus on him, he's a better picture. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. We're going to get them. All the vampires have, in the game Blood, have some sort of red, clear plastic on them to represent the blood. So what this does, though, is what we're going to get in here is the ability to use him, as with this miniature, in Nova Aetas and Black Rose Wars. So each one's going to work a little bit differently. Trying to sort my cards out. Yeah, so there we go. Sorry. On the back, we've got another picture of him. So, for Nova Aetas, we're going to get a couple of things here. We are going to get an enemy card, an event card, and a bloodlust card. So, or a draft card. So you have the enemy draft card there, so we can draft him as an enemy to fight against. And there's the back of that. We are also going to get his actual enemy card. So when we fight him, we know what we're fighting against. So he has 5 speed, 8 dexterity, 7 physical, 6 mental defense, 15 health, and he has an attack, melee attack, range 1 space away, but does 3 damages. Pierce, bleed, and vampires. He has charge and fly. I'm gonna flip to the page in the book that talks about this so I can talk a little bit more about this better. Yeah, so we got a nice cool enemy there we get to fight as well. And then we're also going to get a brand new event, Dread in the Night. Just that adds the Night Stalker side mission. So let's take a look in the book and see what that does a little bit. And we won't read every bit, but we'll kind of get the setup for this. All the side missions. After drawing an enemy faction, randomly decide the enemy of a monster rank via draft. The drawn monster will add special rule of faction lowers its mission. Now let's choose Raven as an enemy in place of a drawn monster. So it's like we actually play this with any monster. We don't have to use Razavin, but we have the option to. So that's kind of cool there. He has extra things. So enemy model, 1 model for each star. Ignore the horde skill. A 2-star enemy for each one. And ignores. And he's listed as a model, as a monster. So bottom of his card there has the monster symbol. So that's how we know that he's going to be a monster to fight. So he'll be up in the top corner. He'll be right in the middle there. So not top corner, the center. So you have to defeat the monster. Least 3 throws a tail. The hologram strikes 10 o'clock and the monster is not being defeated. So time limited then. They do that for some of these bossy type battles. Retreat during the activation of any hero and decide the part of withdraw from the mission in case we die. So special rules for Razvan, Bloodlust Ghoul. Whenever Razvan or an enemy allied with Razvan inflicts at least 1 damage on a hero, the hero gains 1 bite token for each damage suffered this way. When a hero spies bite tokens on a sheet, they draw a card from the Bloodlust deck. When a hero with the Bloodlust card gains all the effects indicated on a card, a hero with the Bloodlust card must, during their activation, inflict at least 1 damage on an enemy, otherwise they automatically inflict 1 damage to another hero within 3 spaces. If there are multiple heroes within 3 spaces, select which one. If there are no heroes, the hero holds a card separate as 1. Okay, so basically kind of gives them like vampirism. If they don't do enough damage quick enough, then they have to basically suck blood from an enemy or a teammate, or they just hurt themselves. So here's our tokens. Well, on the other side, we have 3s, so that way if they start building up too many. The bloodlust can be discarded if a hero visits the church during the rest space or by paying a cost in fortness indicated on the card, as you would with an injury. Neat. That's pretty cool, and we'll look at them bloodlust cards in a minute. If you are playing as a Chimera, so there's like special rules for each one. Cult of the Chimera. Whenever an enemy of a star or a 2-star rank on the battlefield inflicts 1 damage roll, apply the effects according to the astro symbol attained. Poison, bleed, or stun. If you're playing with the Arachne, Children of the Spider, hero will enter movement within 2 spaces of an enemy must perform a test. Obtain at least 2 checkmarks. If the test fails, the hero gains a hindered token. If the test does not obtain any checkmarks, they also gain a poison token. And the Mechanical Golem mechanics. At the end of the activation, the Mechanical Golem discards 1 damage for each enemy within 2 spaces. In addition, when a Golem attacks at least 1 enemy within 3 spaces, it also gains 1 damage. That's kind of cool. So we get special rules for attacking one of these 4 different monsters from the sets. Right, so yeah, look down there, there's just what you do with each one of those as well. Let's look at that Bloodlust deck quick. So on the back of it, they're just going to have a little vampire symbol, which is really neat. Ooh, and I threw them cards on the ground. Alright, so this is what they're going to say. You're going to have 1 metal, 1 mandrake, gift to the night, gains the fly skill. So I wonder if these are special regents you get for using these. I wish they had a better description of how these cards worked, but they don't. Alright, let's take a look at the rest of these. We have Silver and Ragnar. Vampiric Strength, you get 1 extra attack. So it's kind of, you gain like a cool bonus, but you have to do damage every turn. Wolf Form. The first time you use a movement action during your activation, that action costs you 1 less time to use, up to a minimum of 1. The Predator Sight, you gain 1 extra dexterity or sight range. Dark Powers, gain 1 extra mental. Endurance of Dread, gain 1 health. Superhuman Force, you may use double-handed weapons as single-handed weapons. And Mistform, once per activation, you can avoid enemy reaction attacks. That's pretty cool. So I wonder if you could keep getting those potentially. I'm guessing you probably just get 1 and become a vampire. That's a neat little mechanic to use with this guy. So it's like, whenever him or someone else basically vampirized any other characters around him, and then he can do force heroes to turn into vampires. So it kind of makes him even more of a threat for melee characters. You might want to stay a little bit ranged from him. Have the melee characters take out the outer. But again, any of them do damage. So, very cool mechanic for that. Then we have him for Black Rose Wars. So let's take a look at that. So we have, scoot these out of the way. We have Razvan Rules. So he is actually a servant. So use a Razvan in Black Rose Wars game. Follow these points. Place a Razvan evocation card revealed on the table next to the event board. Place the 6 Razvan Bite Jinx cards on the table next to the event board. Mages cannot assign his Jinx cards. Place the Razvan event cards on the top of the corresponding decks. So he gets 3 special events that he gets to put on top of the decks. So kind of like we've done with other avatars where you get to use him right away. So very cool. So yeah, here's his evocation cards we have on the back. His image, and let's look at what his stats are. He's an undead and forgotten. Razvan is owned by the Black Rose. When Razvan activates, he moves towards the crown holder. If he reaches them, he performs an attack against each model. He does it in play order. If Razvan inflicts 1 damage to a mage with no Razvan Bite Jinx cards assigned, that mage obtains a Jinx card. He has 4 movement, 2 attack, and 4 health. So how does he kind of work? So we want to look at this quick. Razvan is the second published servant of the Black Rose. The first was Splurcha, featured in the Advent calendar. So you can go there and find that out if you want. A servant represents a creature to the service of the Black Rose that attempts to hinder all players. To include a servant in the game, simply follow the directions on the rule card. A servant is a model, but is neither an evocation nor a mage. It cannot be targeted with spells that have the mage or evocation symbols. So only ones that would say model or room. A servant always uses a Black Rose cube to inflicting damage or placing instability. It is possible to include servants in the game even if the avatar is already included. So he's basically like, he's someone you're going to have to fight against if you want like an extra little bit of a challenge, but you don't want to maybe go full avatar. Or if you want to make the avatar a little bit harder, you can add him in there. It's possible to include any number of servants in the game, although this will exponentially increase the strength of the Black Rose because there's another thing in there adding instability, especially if you add an avatar. In the event that multiple servants are included in the game, the rules for each indicates their events card on top of the deck. Shuffle all current community events in the game and then place them in. So if you add 2 of them, just shuffle all their. Anytime you have to place events on the deck, place them all on top of each other. So let's look at what his Jinx cards do. We get 6 of them, so enough for 1 for each player. And it says mages do not assign this Jinx. So when you inflict 1 damage to a mage, inflict 1 less damage. Then the Black Rose inflicts 1 damage on that mage. So basically, it's kind of giving you, again, kind of like a vampirism effect. But what it's doing is when you inflict damage, so instead of you getting points for that damage, the Black Rose is getting them. So you're kind of giving them your power. You become under their control, and they're in thrall of it. So when you defeat Razvan, place 1-2 bonus cards. You have to somehow defeat him. But again, you can't target him as a mage or an evocation. So you have to target a room or a model. So that's going to make him a little bit harder to defeat. Although you might be able to hit him with a trap or possibly like a reverse protection, because that usually has to just deal with if they hit you, or if you take damage from whatever it is. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Just an actual threat in there. And then we get our 3 new event cards for him. For the first moon, we'll have Rumble. If Razvan is not in the lodge, place Razvan in the Black Rose room. Razvan activates the crown holder, gives him the crown to the next player in order. The second one, if he's not in the lodge, place him there. He activates the crown holder, gives the crown to the next mage in the order. He activates. And then for the third one, it's basically the same thing. Equinox. He's not in the lodge, place him in the Black Rose room. Activates, the crown holder gives the crown to the next player. Activates, the crown holder gives the player to the next mage, and then he activates, because he's always trying to target that guy. So yeah, that's pretty cool as well. Yeah, and then we also have a link to, let me back this up a bit. We have a link to, it's Legendary Snare, it's a trap. Snare is placed in game while as I mentioned the Black Rose of Earth by applying all the specific specs. Expect the powerful contraptions of the lodge to advantage. Those who don't will be doomed. So it's using some special miniatures, I'm guessing from the original Black Rose Wars game, or some tokens. And you can go to their web store and find that out. I'm not going to show that one off in this video. Maybe I'll do it in a later video if I show off like the print and play stuff. But since it's not directly part of this magazine, I'm not going to show it off. Alright, that is what we have for Ashes, issue number 9. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the rest of the, all the different Nova Aetas Chronicle stuff, Renaissance, Blood, Requiem, Black Rose Wars, all that cool stuff. See you guys later. Bye.